as I mentioned a bit earlier, is hard. It's hard to find great talent. It's really hard to retain them. And when we go about finding talent, we usually look either for performers, people that are going to come in and do what they've done before, be the rainmakers in sales, or we hopefully want to retain them. And I think it's often looked at as an either or. What's your approach to whether we should be focused on hiring performers or hiring talent that we can retain?
Yeah, I mean, I think firstly, talent's an overused word, right? Fundamentally, to be talented puts you in the top 1%. To be skilled puts you in the sort of next 2 to 20%. So talent's probably something we need to revisit. I think secondly, a lot of people don't understand what they're recruiting for, specifically into a sales function. Each component of a sales job is uniquely different, but if you treat it all as the same, then you're never going to get the same outputs that you're anticipating or expecting. And then lastly, too many people don't emphasize retention as their number one reason to recruit. The business pain, the lost continuity, the cost of losing potential consistent performance is brutal to most organisations. Now, certain types of company can tolerate that because of their existing market presence, their size of their P&L and their revenue costs, etc. But for the majority of companies, which are fundamentally SMEs, that's brutal.
Yeah.
If you've got people on a consistent cycle of churn. So we really believe deeply that your mindset should be to recruit for people that are going to execute against the requirement of the specific job that you're hiring against, and will they add value and be consistent through their entire life cycle of performance. And trying to find a way to predict that is really tough, because the conventional wisdom says you do one of three things. You hire a recruiter, you either go to market yourself, or thirdly, you sort of speak to networks in order to find access to those people. And all three of those sort of propositions are flawed. Yeah. Fundamentally. Recruiters, because they're incentivized around a commission basis, which ultimately skews or distorts the value of the candidate that you're potentially meeting. Secondly, they don't want to work inside of that process that you might want to work inside, because it diminishes their commercial value to you. By going directly to market, well, guess what? You're not an expert. It's not your day job. You know, whilst you should be recruiting all the time, you're not actually an expert at recruiting. And then thirdly, it's, you know, your network's probably going to give you some awesome juice to go out and recruit against, but, you know, whether or not those people are going to be empowered in your environment with your proposition, your marketplace, and all of the other things that make people successful in sales is a huge unknown quantity.